The majority of what my company, Bunn DJ Company, does is weddings. In terms of a typical wedding, they often break down into 4 parts: ceremony, cocktail hour, formalities and dinner, and then dancing. As you know, DJs have been tasked with providing the PA for ceremonies for many years now. Hardly any couples get married in a church anymore. With that comes the responsibility of playing the music too. The first thing guests will hear that day is prelude music as they arrive. I always try and get input from the couple here, but if they pass it back to me, I'm a big fan of Vitamin String Quartet. Look them up. As for the more important songs, the parents and the grandparents seating, what the groom and groomsmen and the officiant are walking into, the bridesmaid's entrance, and of course, the processional and the recessional, I really try and get the couple to pick those. They're so personal. I do offer a PDF of some suggestions if they need help. Of course, that's under the docks here in the vault. After the ceremony, guests arrive and mingle for about an hour and have some drinks and passed hors d'oeuvres. Down here in the South, we call it the cocktail hour, some call it the social hour, whatever. Again, I like to get input from the couple on what to play during this hour. Whether I mix it live or not depends on where they have me set up. Sometimes it's just on autoplay, but it's still important. Now, if you get an off-the-wall playlist from your bride and groom that has a lot of non-danceable stuff on it, this is your chance to possibly play it. However, make sure you clear that with the couple before doing so, since there's a good chance they won't get to hear it since they're probably finishing up their photos. If you don't get requests from your clients for this time of the night, then I think a good mix is so important here. Yes, I get it, it's background music. Yes, people are talking louder than you might be playing, or you should be, so be careful of your volume during this time. But this is your first chance to make a really good impression. I always mix different types of genres during this period. I blend everything from the Rat Pack guys like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin to the new crooners like Bublé. Then I'll throw in some acoustic singer-songwriter guys like Jack Johnson, James Taylor, Van Morrison, and then maybe even flavor it with some non-danceable R&B or Motown grooves. It's all about creating that vibe. Once guests enter the ballroom from cocktail hour, it's usually time for formal introductions. And of course, they usually pick that song. And their first dance and their parent dance is again usually picked by the couple. However, with dinner, I still feel like the music mix here is very important for continuing the good vibe of the night. During dinner, I play several of the artists that I just mentioned, but the songs aren't so upbeat or swinging. I also add in a few of the more mellow guys I love, like Ray LaMontagne, for example. Again, be careful of your volume here. These folks may be catching up on old times or getting to know one another for the very first time. They don't want to be screaming at each other because the DJ is trying to show off. After all of the formalities are done, dinner has been eaten, toasts have been delivered, cake has been served, it's time for you to show the guests why this lovely couple hired you, because you rock parties. Listen, we all get tired of some of the tried and true stuff that we play, Brick House, Love Shack, but just think, these people don't go to a wedding every weekend. They don't hear these songs on the radio anymore. They'll probably get into them, so go ahead and rock them as long as they aren't on the do not play list. Also, when I start kind of mellow. For example, a good solid opener for me is My Girl by The Temptations. No matter what age you are, you know it, and it's not really too fast or too slow. I can then gauge the crowd right away if they're into it, and I may run a whole set of 4 more songs from that Motown era, ending the set with a ballad like Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Then maybe I'll come out of that and go into something like from the 50s, maybe The Twist, or into Run Around Sue. My point is that you come out of the gate swinging too hard and cranking Drake songs, the old folks may leave. My wedding theory is usually work the decades mix. In other words, start from the 50s or 60s and kind of work towards the top 40. Now, I'm not saying it has to follow that path exactly from the beginning to the end, but you kind of get my drift. And finally, if you can't beat mix, that's okay. I think it's an important skill set, no doubt. In the mobile DJ or the private event world, it's better to know what to play and when to play it sometimes. I've had plenty of good DJs that worked for me that couldn't mix, but they still got rave reviews based on their song selection, personality, attitude, and their customer service. Whatever you do, do not use someone's event as your practice grounds. Remember, from the very beginning of the day, you are being watched by the guests, the couple, the staff at the venue. Think of how many potential new clients are in that batch of people. Always be aware of what's playing during the different parts of the wedding, and the referrals will continue to roll in.